10:30 on? We make something for. All right, we are live. Sorry about that. My volume wasn't working. Volume starts at 6-minute marker. Sorry about that. So let's just quickly recap everything we've done. One, thanks for letting me know about the mic problem. So we have $160,000, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1974, relatively turnkey, except for these 2 rooms. So that's the only thing I would say doesn't work. Now, 1560 and 1400 were your rent ceilings by bedroom count. So that's where we put this over here. And then in the bed and the 4-bed, that's where we got the market rents for the market rent. Now, when you compare the 3-bedroom market rent to the 3-bedroom rent ceiling, the rent ceiling is technically lower. So we're going to start off with $1,400. And we're going to use that as the rental assumption for now because we're doing the Section 8 exit strategy. We'll take a look at it, see if the numbers work, even if you go to 1,800 later. So we're going to go from there. We've got property management 10%. We've got maintenance at 10%. And we've got vacancy at roughly around 5%. Now, currently, if we do a 25% down, which is right here, so that equals your purchase price times 25%. And our finance amount is going to be right over here, which equals to your asking price less your down payment, and that's your finance amount. We're going to put about 8.5% for our interest rate for now. And that's going to equals to a negative $160 cash flow a month. Negative 160, assuming you're using $1,400 for rent. That's a 3-bedroom, and that's a negative 4.1% cash on cash return. Assuming I'm just gonna do round numbers. Assuming your purchase price was $160 and you have a rehab of $3,000. Okay, now if this was true and you can get $1,800 for this property, now all of a sudden you are at a 3.56%. So you might decide, hey, I don't want to do Section 8 on this property because I would be losing out on additional $400 of rent a month, which is pretty significant in my opinion. Okay, now let's just go back to the 1,400. If your rent was $1,400, what purchase price would you buy it at to give yourself, let's say, a 10% return? 90. There you go. So you'd be willing to pay up to $92,000. I'm just rounding up here. $92,000, assuming everything else stay constant, and your rent was $1,400. If that was the case, then you would do an offer $92,000 because you would cash for $230, and that's a 9.8% cash and cash return, assuming your criteria is 10%. Again, this is not investment advice. I'm simply sharing with you what set of terms would make these things a deal. Now, if this went back to 1,800, now all of a sudden, what would you pay? 150, 130, yeah, 125. 128. So you might say, hey, if I'm really able to get $1,800 a month, well, now I'd be willing to pay $128,000. So at this point in time, you might be better served going to find a property management company and say, hey, I got this property. What do we think it will rent for in this area? And when you see that this relatively turnkey property in 35222, let's see if we see any. Let's go to Zillow. 35222. 35222. And what I'm looking for is I want to see if there are any properties for rent that are 3 bedrooms. Let's put all these filters on. 3 bedrooms. They are houses. Get the entire place. Great. Oops, 35222. Great. Okay. Oh, and I do see some properties that are in 1,800, 1,900. So you now have a little bit more confidence in this area. So this property is 3-bed, 2.5 bath. What's ours? 3-bed, 2 bath. 1974 square feet. This is 1,400. So our home is slightly bigger. So 1,800 seems achievable, but let's see. Oh, listed for 5 days and 13 contacts. Usually that tells me that this price is very reasonable. What you usually go for is, do you see that there is a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning for every day listed, you should get at least one contact. This property got listed for 5 days. It got 13 contacts already. So this area is kind of good. It's kind of nice. That's a pretty high rent there in that area. Okay, now let's see. What if I turn this into a 4-bedroom? Are there any 4-bedrooms there? 35222. 2400. It's 2400. 3500. 1850. So no 4-bedrooms. So I'm not as confident on the 4-bedroom number, but at least you know that for a 3-bedroom, you're easily seeing things consistently. Oh, this one is not good. If you've been listed for 241 days, but you've been on contract 37 times, I don't even know if this property is legit, because how have you been listed for 241 days and not doing anything about it? Maybe since this property is across this big highway, maybe this area might be a little bit worse in condition. I don't know, but these are all now questions that I would be asking, right? This property was listed for 1,800, and in 5 days, it got 13 contacts. This property across the highway has been listed for 241 days, and they've had 30 contacts. Either something's gone on with this listing, or this might be a really bad area that no one wants to live in. And it kind of makes sense because you're crossing this big road. So I wouldn't assume that they're great comps. So just something for you to be aware of. Again, the ratio I care most about is this day listed to contact ratio. For 5 days listed with 13 contacts, that means this property is likely very reasonably priced, if not a little bit underpriced. But we saw that what happened with just 50 extra bucks across the highway. No one wants it. So that's for you to determine on your market research, and something that you want to be really, really careful about and really pay attention to. All right. So now that we determined all these properties, and now we determine our buy box, we essentially said, hey, if I ever see another property that can rent for 1,800 bucks in this area, I'd be willing to pay 128. So right now it's currently listed for 160. I might wait a little bit. Maybe they'll drop it by 10K, and now all of a sudden you can offer 128, right? So just something for you to keep in mind. Again, all we're doing every single day is just simply doing the work, putting in the reps, and getting to know the market. Because for every property, there is a set of terms or a price that makes things work. All right. Have an amazing Saturday, everybody. I hope you guys are able to spend some quality time with your family and friends yesterday. I met some amazing people at a meetup last night on a boat. And it's just really incredible to see and be in a room with a lot of like-minded folks, people that want to become the best versions of themselves, that want to meet others, that want to make an impact in the world. It's just really refreshing to hang around people. So shout out to Mark Chang, because he hooked me up with the ticket. And thank you so much for sticking around. My goal is that you're able to copy the homework today using the same spreadsheet, using the same property, and just find one thing to explain better than I did. And once you do that and put it on your own YouTube channel, you're going to develop tremendous amount of confidence, because you get to look back and say, hey, I know how to spot what's not a deal. Once you get really good at analyzing deals, once you put in the number of reps, you're going to feel way more confident. And that's why I do this. It's here so that we can lift each other up, so we can all get better together, so it can be a little bit less lonely when we're doing it. Have an amazing day, everybody. I hope you guys spend some quality time with your family and friends, and I'll be back here tomorrow for day 190. Amazing. Have a great one, everybody.